What destroys a 158-year-old empire? Bad luck? A bad market? A bad bet? No. Ego. The belief that you're untouchable, that the rules don't apply to you, that the universe will bend before you do. That belief built Lehman Brothers, and that belief destroyed it. The kingdom. Manhattan, a glass tower rising above the city like a monument to confidence. Inside, Richard Fuld. They called him the gorilla, not for strength but for dominance. He didn't run Lehman like a bank. He ran it like a kingdom. Executives didn't challenge him. They aligned themselves. Careers were made or ended based on a raised eyebrow, a tone of voice, a closed-door meeting. People learned very quickly. You didn't bring Fuld a problem unless you already had a solution. And if a solution made Lehman look weak, don't even bring it. Inside the firm, people didn't just fear failure. They feared visibility. Meetings became performances. Data was filtered before it reached the top, not to deceive, but to survive. No one wanted to be the messenger of bad news. At Lehman, the most dangerous thing you could bring to a meeting was the truth. For years, this system worked. Lehman had survived world wars, depressions, crashes, everything. It had become part of Wall Street's mythology, a financial survivor with 9 lives. To its employees, it wasn't just an institution. It was identity, a badge, a family crest. To the market, Lehman wasn't just big. It was immortal, or so it thought. The bet. In the early 2000s, the world was hypnotized by real estate. But while other banks played the game, Lehman became the game. They weren't just financing loans. They were buying the lenders, creating the loans, selling the products, and holding massive chunks of the risk themselves. They built entire divisions around aggressive construction deals. Office towers, commercial projects, luxury developments, sprawling suburban expansions. Every one of them leveraged. Every one of them assumed infinite growth. Billions stacked on top of billions, all resting on the belief that the boom would never slow down. To outsiders, it looked like vision, boldness, master strategy. Inside, it was concentration, exposure, a skyscraper built on glass. Wall Street had leverage. But Lehman? Lehman had faith. And faith is a terrible risk management strategy. Lehman didn't just invest. It imposed its will on markets. Developers who hesitated were pressured to expand faster. Partners were encouraged to think bigger, even when the numbers didn't agree. Internally, questioning the boom was treated as disloyal. Doubt wasn't a red flag. It was a career-ending move. The mirage. By 2007, cracks weren't forming. They were spreading. Projects stalled mid-construction. Buyers vanished overnight. Assets that once looked liquid suddenly couldn't be sold at any price. The vault wasn't filled with treasure. It was filled with ticking bombs. But admitting that would mean admitting something worse. Lehman was not as healthy as it claimed. So they didn't fix the problem. They covered it. Enter Repo 105. A temporary sale of billions in toxic assets. Not a real sale. More like asking a friend to hide your trash before guests arrive. Every quarter, Lehman hid its worst assets off the balance sheet, and then quietly took them back. The numbers looked clean. Ratings stayed high. Executives celebrated hitting targets. Some even earned bonuses for it. Meanwhile, internally, analysts warned, models flashed red, emails circulated with quiet panic. Everyone knew the truth. But on Wall Street, silence isn't just cultural, it's currency. It wasn't classic fraud. It was something more dangerous. Collective denial. The siege. March 2008. Bear Stearns collapses. The impossible suddenly becomes real. On Wall Street, a chilling new question spreads. Who's next? Lehman insists everything is fine. But inside the tower, the mood shifts. Emergency meetings start at dawn and end at midnight. Risk officers whisper behind closed doors. Traders watch liquidity evaporate from one screen to the next. The world starts demanding answers. Fuld starts demanding loyalty. Sell assets to raise cash? He refuses. Admit losses to regain credibility? He refuses. Accept a deal at a lower price? He refuses. Executives try to reason with him. Advisors plead. Partners beg. Every time, the response is the same. Not at that price. The king refuses to give up his crown, even as the castle burns. As pressure mounted, the hallways changed. People who once strutted now moved quietly, avoiding eye contact. Some refreshed their screens every few seconds, praying for a miracle. Others rehearsed explanations for clients who no longer picked up the phone. Lehman wasn't under attack from the outside. It was imploding from within. The final weekend, September 13th, 2008. The CEOs of America's largest banks meet with Treasury and the Federal Reserve. The mission: find a buyer for Lehman before Monday. Bank of America walks away. The Koreans walk away. JP Morgan, not interested. Barclays steps forward, but only if the government guarantees Lehman's losses. For the first time in modern history, the answer is no. No guarantees. No rescue. No safety net. Inside Lehman's headquarters, panic deepens. Executives pace the halls. Phones melt. Employees gather personal items, already feeling the end. By midnight, the truth becomes undeniable. There is no savior coming. The fall. 1:45 a.m. September 15th, 2008. Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy. 26,000 jobs erased. 158 years of history gone. A titan collapses, and the world trembles. They thought the damage would be contained. It wasn't. Lehman wasn't just a bank. It was a node, a central point in a global financial web. And when that node snapped, credit froze. Banks stopped trusting each other. Markets plunged. Companies collapsed. Retirements evaporated. Lehman didn't cause the crisis alone, but ignited the spark that revealed how fragile the entire system truly was. The ghost. When the smoke cleared, the truth surfaced. Repo 105. The hidden losses. The ignored warnings. The culture of fear and ego. Lehman wasn't destroyed by markets, or by real estate, or even by risk. It was destroyed by belief. The belief that they were too smart to fail, too big to fail, too iconic to fail. And in the end, the only thing truly too big was their pride. Lehman Brothers vanished. But its lesson didn't. Empires don't fall because they're weak. They fall because they refuse to admit one thing: they're human. Do you agree? Share your thoughts below. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Oh, and if you're curious about another crisis, watch this one next.